All right. Good morning to our partners in the media, distinguished guests, and the hardworking men and women of the Gambia, comrades of the Federation of Labor Unions, the Gambia. As the president alluded to, this is a special moment for us. The Federation has been launched not long ago, and we have started things in earnest. Today, as we celebrate, or we join the global community in celebrating International Workers' Day, for over a century, this day has served as sacred, sacred reminder of the struggles and victories of the labor movement across the world. It is a day to honor the sweat and sacrifice of the workers who are the true architects of our nation. The Gambia, every road built, every child taught in the classroom, every harvest gathered from the farms, every news that is being casted on the radio and television is a testament to the resilience of our workforce. However, we have called this press conference today because for many Gambians, May Day has come or has become a day of ceremony without substance. We are here to change that narrative. The Federation of Labor Unions, the Gambia, has moved beyond mere celebrations of May Day from being sports day to decisive action. Decisive action in the sense that we have convened this briefing to formally announce the submission of resolution number FLUGWDR 001-2026 to the government of the Gambia. We have submitted the resolution this morning. This press conference serves as our public declaration. This public declaration that the era of fragmented advocacy is over. All the unions in the Gambia, we expected them to come under the umbrella of the Federation of the Labor Union, the Gambia, so that we can advocate together, we can fight together, we can be able to face the government together and then bring up very most important resolutions before the government in order to improve our livelihood. By presenting this resolution as a united front, we are exercising our constitutional rights to ensure that the dignity, security, and prosperity of the workers become the primary measure of our government's success. When we look at the current reality, a call for urgent reform, our briefing today is going to highlight a systemic lapses to protect our most valuable national asset, that is the workers. Looking at the workers in various sectors, both formal and informal, there are so many lapses that we want to mitigate. Institutionalized poverty. The current statutory minimum wage has remained frozen while inflation soars, leaving families unable to afford basic shelter and nutrition. This is as a result of the low income that most of the workers are earning at the end of the day. The invisible majority, between 70 to 80%, according to statistics, of our workforce labors in the informal economy as market traders, domestic workers, and fishers, yet they are almost entirely excluded from the protection of the Labor Act 2023. So the resolution that we have drafted and presented to government, we want all this workforce to be included and be protected by the Labor Act. A fragile safety net social protection in the Gambia is among the lowest in the sub-region, with the National Social Security Housing Finance Corporation failing to provide unemployment benefits or coverage for informal workers. And we are calling on government to ensure something is done about that. Women face safety and equality. Women in the Gambia face systematic discrimination and sexual harassment, especially at workplace, while child labor persists in sectors like artisanal fishing and agriculture in direct violation of international law. These are all issues that we, the Federation of Labor Union in the Gambia, decided, because we cannot just jump and confront one issue at a time. We want to bring different resolutions together and present to government and give them a timeline The resolution that we presented, the timeline is indicated, so that government will work towards that timeline in order to be able to meet the target before the next year May Day. The key pillars of the resolution we have presented to the Honorable Minister of Trade and Employment demands concrete actions on 7 critical fronts. 1, a living minimum wage. We are looking at immediate formation of a tripartite commission to establish a wage that covers healthcare, education, and housing. And that the National Assembly is inclusive. But when we're talking about the government, we're talking about the various arms of government that collaborate to ensure that policies and the right laws are in place in order to be able to implement the minimum wage in the country. Universal social protection. Establishment of a social protection floor to guarantee basic income security and essential health care for all residents in the Gambia. 3, formalizing the informal, amending the Labour Act to protect domestic and transport workers, ensuring they have access to written contracts and grievance mechanism. Not only transport workers, but all those that are in the informal sector. Most of the laws, that are in place, laws are there to protect mainly workers that are in the formal sector. But the informal sector that constitutes the greater majority, between 60 to 70%, and certain statistics will show you, are of the majority of workers in the Gambia, but mainly neglected. Most of them have been employed or appointed without even contracts or letters being given to them. And the employers have the utmost authority to dismiss them or terminate their service at any given time, especially when they complain about their wages or their salary. Health and safety, operationalizing a national labor inspectorate to conduct unannounced inspections at construction sites and agricultural estates and other workplaces in order to ensure the health and safety of our workers in the country. Gender justice, enacting anti-harassment legislations and ensuring equal pay for equal work. Eradicating child labor. Looking at child labor in the country is something that is still going on. Government has endeavored a lot to ensure that child labor it becomes a thing of the past, but it's still persistent. We are calling for government to implement a national action plan to remove children from hazardous work and return them to classroom, because education in the Gambia is free. Universal basic education for every citizen of the planet, and the Gambia is no exception. And we are calling on government to ensure that every child that is in the workforce, let them be returned back to the classroom to have a better future. Revitalize social dialogue. We are reactivating the National Labour Advisory Council. We are calling on government to reactivate the National Labour Advisory Council, NLAC, to ensure workers have a seat at the table so that at least they can be able to fight for their colleagues that have been affected based on impunity and so on and so forth. Closing the declaration, the Federation of Labour Union, the Gambia, presented this resolution to government this morning, not as an act of confrontation, but as an invitation to partnership. Because we recognize the effort, the laudable effort government is playing towards improving the life and livelihood of all workers in the country. But we are also joining the game to ensure that government is being reminded all the time around to ensure that the workforce benefit what they're supposed to have at the end of the day. We extend our hand to the government, asking for a leadership that listens and delivers. We will monitor the implementation of these demands and report back to our membership and the public annually. Workers united, workers protected, and the Gambia rising. Federation of Labour Union, the Gambia. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ismaila Ceesay, for those very brilliant words. Federation of Labour Unions, as Ismaila said, is calling